Hello, welcome to Charter Local Edition Northwest. I'm Dana Cowley, and my guest today is Tim Arntzen. He's the Executive Director of the Port of Kennewick. And Tim, thanks so much for joining us.
My pleasure.
You have a very interesting urban renewal project that's going on in downtown Kennewick by Clover Island. And could you tell us what you've got going so far?
Certainly, yes. It's along Columbia Drive, and the portion that the Port is actively working on is from Washington Street over to the Cable Bridge and then north of Columbia Drive.
So how large is that area, please?
That's an area of about 28 acres. The Port has purchased just over 16 acres. And I want to emphasize that we've purchased it on a willing seller basis. We haven't gone in and used condemnation or thrown people out of their properties. We've gone in and negotiated fair deals and acquired that property.
Well, and this is an area that's older and is maybe due for some economic revitalization or some upgrading at this point based on its life cycle.
It is, and the community has told us that. We've done an outreach where we got over 130 comments from the public, and the public is very much excited about that process of revitalizing the area, taking it from the industrial to maybe more of a mixed use commercial retail where you can have the restaurants, the little shops, maybe a wine village. You can have pathways along Duffy's Pond, under some of those trees. If you've ever been to that area in July or August, it's really nice to have preserved the old trees. It creates that shade. So it's a really interesting area, and I think the public has seen the vision of what it could become.
And it's right there on the water, so you have a lot of scenic beauty there too.
Yes.
And so you've got about $6 million into it,
Right.
and then what's the next phase?
What we're doing now is some planning, and we're about halfway through the planning. It's been another process with outreach to the community, get ideas from the public, and then what we're doing now is we've got some maps, some big boards out on what it's going to look like. We've already had significant interest from wineries wanting to come in there and invest their own money, private sector dollars coming in, and that will start jumpstart the area for the revitalization. And you can't do the revitalization without the private sector, and they're now knocking on our door wanting to get involved in this area.
Well, and that's how you can recoup some of the money that you've invested too.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And you've had very good success with this with Spalding Park. You
Right.
took a parcel and have that almost completely filled with
Yes.
private sector business. It just took you about a decade. So is that your time frame for this project?
Spalding is a very good example of taking something from start to finish. I think Spalding happened a little bit quicker than urban revitalization normally does. I think it's a 20, 30-year cycle. Spalding maybe 12, 14 years. That happened a little bit quicker. Columbia Drive is probably going to be closer to a 15, 20-year process. Got to get the buy-in from the city of Kennewick. We've been working well with them. Then you got to get the buy-in from the private sector. It's that three-legged stool: port, city, and private sector.
Very nice. And so what other businesses are you talking to come into the area besides the wineries?
Yeah, at this point it's pretty early in the game, and actually the wineries have come to us before we've really finished the master planning, and that is a good problem to have. So we really haven't cast the net yet looking for other businesses because we're still finishing up the planning phase. But the wine industry has already got us on the radar screen, and they're approaching us, and I think that within 5 years we'll probably have 3 to 5 wineries there, and then we'll have the tasting rooms and the amenities and things like that that the public wants.
Well, it is such a nice location.
It is. It's beautiful there, and it's also kind of the middle ground between Clover Island and the historic downtown. And as you build out Columbia Drive, it's going to be the glue that holds those areas together. And it's going to be a very unique place in the community that people, locals will drive to, and visitors when they come in will go to that area. So that's the objective for the Columbia Drive area.
Well, look forward to seeing it evolve. And Tim, thank you so much. We really appreciate you coming and being our guest on the set.
Thank you.
Tim Arntzen, he is the Executive Director for the Port of Kennewick. I'm Dana Cowley, and you're watching Charter Local Edition Northwest.